What's going on, everybody? It's Lucky Finn Gaming here, and welcome back to Ark Survival Evolved, where today we'll be pondering the question, why does there seem to be no cryptids in Ark Survival Evolved, and why did WildCard decide to forego cryptids in the game? So without further ado, let's get into this. Now, as you can see here, I do have two animals here. That I think are fairly reminiscent of the cryptids of some kind. In case you don't know what cryptids are basically animals that people have claimed to have seen, and that there's some evidence to suggest the animal could exist, but that nobody's actually seen, or that they've actually put any like real sustainable evidence. A classic example would be the Bigfoot. As you can see here, as we discussed in my last video, the Gigantopithecus isn't actually an Ark Survival Evolved. What we have instead is this version of a Gigantopithecus whose spawn code is actually Bigfoot. So really, this is far more of a Bigfoot, and that's nice. You know, I'm not in the middle of a video or anything. Anyway, what we have here is really, it's a Bigfoot. If you go into the spawn codes, it actually says spawn Bigfoot character BPC, which is very interesting. And even the cave version of this animal is called the Yeti. So yeah, this thing is really, it's not a Gigantopithecus at all. It doesn't even act like a Gigantopithecus. As we discussed in the last video, a Gigantopithecus would actually walk on all fours, which, as we can see, this one does no such thing. It also probably wouldn't have that ability, which is to jump. It doesn't climb at all, and again, probably would not be found in the redwoods. However, interestingly, one of the places people claim to see Bigfoots is in the redwood forests or large tree forests. So Bigfoot is, interestingly, I think the Bigfoot is actually in the game, as we can see here through the Gigantopithecus. Far more of a mythical take on the Gigantopithecus, and like I said, it's a Bigfoot. I could rail on about that for too long. I get ranting too much. The second one that you may all be questioning is why the Ravager is here. The Ravager is far more of a fantasy than anything. But I honestly, if you look at any pictures or descriptions of the Chupacabra, you'll find that the Ravager shares a lot of similarities to the Chupacabra, even getting down into these, well, if it would not look at me, even getting down into these fang-like teeth. However, the Ravager has no capability like the Chupacabra. The Chupacabra is essentially like a... It's kind of like a dog vampire. Basically, the name translates to goat sucker, and basically it would have the ability to suck the blood of a goat and just heal itself from there. But unfortunately, the Ravager has no such capability. I think it would be really cool if the Ravager had such capability, but it doesn't. It doesn't. I think it'd be cool if there was maybe a version of the Ravager that did that, but it doesn't. Instead, it just looks more kind of like a bat / dog thing, reminiscent of a Chupacabra, but not a Chupacabra at all. And really interestingly, these are the only two. The rest of the animals in Ark seem to have been ones that just pull right out of myth. There are no other real cryptids in the game. So why do I think that cryptids were kind of cut from the game? Well, I think it's because if you think about cryptids, most other cryptids that you would think about are ones that we actually know what they are. Take, for example, the jackalope. The jackalope is essentially a rabbit that is believed to have antlers. Turns out that's just a rabbit infected with the Shown papillomavirus, I believe, and it gets tumors on its face and it makes it look like antlers. Although I think a jackalope in game as a shoulder pet would be fantastic, like one that it can attack and it can sit on your shoulder. I think it would be adorable, but not in the game. Another big one would be Nessie, or the Loch Ness monster. it's a plesiosaur. You know, everybody kind of comes to the assumption that it would be a plesiosaur, and of course, Ark has those in game, much bigger than they would be in real life, but still, it has them in game. So overall, why do I think that these are really the only two cryptid or cryptid-looking animals? It's because most other cryptids stem from over-exaggerations of real animals. And since this game already has a bunch of real animals in it, they really couldn't fit cryptids in. Though I think it would be cool if they would kind of go a little over the top with the cryptids and add cryptids instead of just pure mythical creatures, which we've gotten. Um, Unfortunately, we haven't gotten that. I think it'd be cool if in a future map they would add that. So Wildcard, if you ever watch my tiny little channel here and want some suggestions, cryptids in the future, definitely add them. But other than that, guys, that's really all I have for you today. Like I said, kind of wanted to step off into some more facts and stuff, and so this was a great way to do it. And I just wanted to briefly talk about cryptids. So without further ado, not without further ado, I'm so sorry. But that's all I have for you today, guys. If you liked, please consider hitting the like button and definitely the subscribe button if you want to see any future content like this. And I will see you all at another time and dimension, whenever or wherever that may be. Till then, peace out.